Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from whenever you are watching this video. The East African time, it is in the morning. I want to say special salutations to John Omala, our subscriber from Doha, and he mentioned that he had started watching our videos when I was at 3,000 subscribers. We are now heading at 7. I am saying this even if William Ruto's close confidant Oscar Sudi was to wake up in the middle of the night and walk to a studio to record his normal videos, there are words you will not hear from Oscar Sudi. This is ICC, International Criminal Court. And to be frank with you, not even William Ruto, not even his worst enemy, Uhuru Kenyatta, or Raila Odinga, wants to hear anything from the ICC. But then, other people say justice delayed is denied. But is that the case? We are going to find out. On this 15th February at 11 a.m., Assistant Prosecutor at the ICC is going to present James Paul Gicheru before Magistrate Miata Maria Samba, trying to place Paul Gicheru at the scene of crime, a crime that was committed around 10 years ago. But then a crime that was committed around 9 years ago. Paul Gicheru pretrial chamber, the 5 days session is going to start today, and he is facing charges of witness interference against the defunct case of Deputy President back in 2013 when he was charged with acts against violence against humanity, the case of the 2007 post-election violence. And I can mention to you guys that this is something that not politicians really want to hear now. And the question that begs is this: why always at the dawn of the general election? That is a question. Before I look at the damages of this case and some of the issues that this case can raise in relation to our election, especially to William Ruto's presidential bid, I want to take some time to explain for you how it arrived here. Back in March 10th, 2015, the ICC issued warrant of arrest against Paul Gicheru, lawyer Paul Gicheru, and that envelope was sealed in Kenya on 10th September 2015. And I read somewhere that intentionally they had sealed it. They didn't even want to see what was there. The following year, that is February 10th, 2016, William Ruto's case at the ICC was vacated on 2 accounts: that there was witness interference and also political interference. So the case lacked threshold to be presented. And by that time, William Ruto's lawyer was Karim Khan. Karim Khan is the current prosecutor at the ICC. He took over from Fatou Bensouda, but he could not take charge of this case because he was William Ruto's lawyer even before. So he doesn't have access to non-public documents of this case, and not any administrative decision that is supposed to be made, he's going to be there. That is why his assistant, James Stewart, is taking charge of this case. Then the same year, that was in 2016, the case was vacated. Then on November 2nd, 2020, that is 5 years after a warrant of arrest and 4 years after William Ruto's case was vacated, lawyer Paul Gicheru presented himself to ICC. And so the question here is, And when I was just trying to follow up, I realized that after the warrant of arrest, it is upon the Kenyan government to produce him to ICC. And so government maybe did not commit to that, or he had the luxury of, because ICC cannot come to arrest him here. Or why was he? Why didn't ICC come to arrest him? A lawyer might explain to us that lacuna, whether they have the jurisdiction to arrest someone after the warrant of arrest in Kenya. So he presented himself. Then on 6th, he was taken to court. On 15th, the 15th of December 2015, the case was severed from that of Kipkoech Bet, who was also a co-accused with him. That was on 15th December. Then the following year, that is 2021, July, it was actually agreed, a decision was made that it was going to face trial. That is the trial that is starting today. So ladies and gentlemen, the question that all are asking is this: what was the motive behind Paul Gicheru presenting himself to ICC? And in my own perspective, there are two theories that advance. One, lawyer Paul Gicheru had preempted that this is a case that he could not win, that he could not lose. Because if you know you are losing a case, how would you present yourself? Honestly. Two, could there be a deal went so between him and his client? That's the question. Because I think I read an article from, it was either New York Times or BBC, that was saying that there is a probability that could there be Paul Gicheru, also there was a deal that he participated in the witness interference, but because things did not go as he opted to, he decided to revive the cases on him as a person. That is a question. Three, was he coerced to go back and revive the cases? A narrative that I want to say no. I don't think. President Uhuru Kenyatta have presented himself and have given his position on this case. So today, this is going to happen. But now, just around that, even the prosecution have had a setback. Because, and I think I need to mention that last month, January, the ICC allowed them to present documents as evidence before the witnesses are presented. So this pre-trial, the witnesses are going to be presented. But because they had a challenge, some of the witnesses, they are going to present to court some recordings with Paul Gicheru before he was arrested. They have tapped some phone conversations from him. They are also going to present some interviews, pre-arrest interviews with him. And of course, there is just more. So what exactly is going to happen? Is there that they're going to give that evidence? This is after some witnesses withdrew. They had 12 witnesses. And according to reports, as of yesterday, only 6 had committed to testify. The other 6, 2, one have said that he's been promised some lucrative job as a bodyguard to a politician, I think, and he has also been given a job. He will be promised a job of 2 million, of any job that will pay him 2 million, despite of his qualification. That is one. There is also another guy that I think have withdrew, that he's getting some funds or something. Then the other is hostile and blatantly have refused. The others have refused to speak. So the question here again is this: if Paul Gicheru presented himself to ICC, who is this other person behind that is doing witness interference? Who is the Paul Gicheru 2 in his case that is doing witness interference, and in whose interest is he working? That's what begs the question. But now, before that, I want to tell you something on the 4 damages this case is posing directly to William Ruto. Because this is what I think, that in any case that lawyer Paul Gicheru is found guilty, then the question that begs is, in whose interest was he working on? Is it going to signal a revival of William Ruto cases? But just let me hold on there. In 2016, the reason why the Ruto's case was actually recanted is because some witnesses wanted to recanted their testimony. And the court said that if you have given your testimony first, then you come after some time and say, no, it was not this, it is this way. That one cannot be allowed. And so any other witness that testified against William Ruto in 2013 is not viable to testify. And that's why I think even William Ruto's case, it's not very easy to be revived. But now, guys, before we get to this, the gist of this story, the gist of this ICC, how it is denting William Ruto's presidential hope. If you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed, take a second and subscribe. And more importantly, also click the notification bell so that you subscribe, so that we will notify you when we publish our video. And also, the question here is, who is resurrecting the ICC and for what benefit? So this is the most interesting bit, and this is the question that everyone else is asking. Why is this case being revived now? And so this is the problem. That some of the damages that it can create, one is striking, emotional, targeting witness testimony. Some of the witness testimonies might be striking and might directly link William Ruto to the witness interference. I want you to get how this case is bridging, because if the evidence if the charge is on Paul Gicheru, and actually there's also a bet, keep quiet bet, interfering with witnesses. So what is the evidence? Who is the witness in this case? The witness in this case is someone who was interfered with or has an evidence that interference was done. So is it, if this, the gist will be on these witness statements. Are they going to be statements that will remind Kenyans of what happened in 2007? Will they be testimonies that will be directly linking William Ruto to that case? If that is the case, then that is why I'm telling you that people are going to get worried. That will be just number one. And that is one of the damages that this case will bring. Secondly, is the merit of the case. Let me explain it this way. Will this case elicit emotions and bring a clamor for justice? Because for once, and I think this is what might happen, I read a report around, I was just reading the documents at the ICC website, and there is one that is saying that the prosecutor is going to present witnesses that have never been revealed, and he's allowed amongst in the statute of ICC, he's allowed to do that. So these witnesses that have never been revealed, of course none has been revealed, are they going to give us accounts, blow by blow accounts, that will elicit reactions among Kenyans and then bring the clamor for change, the clamor for justice? If that happens, then the Kenyan courts might actually start picking witness statements from Eldoret and every other place to play this. In any case, this is a very bad environment for William Ruto's presidency. It's not a very good environment for him. And I also think this is also why and I can bet, if you will see the UDA team talking about this case, then you will know that really things are not well. But as of now, they won't mention. In fact, William Ruto will just continue his campaigns. And this case, no one wants to hear about it. Thirdly, it can also dent the eligibility and credibility of William Ruto as a presidential candidate. Let me explain this by revisiting the 2013 situation, the 2012 situation. You remember the narrative of choices have consequences, where there was this narrative that, you know what, you cannot elect these two gentlemen because they are facing charges in ICC and they may not be viable to run the office, or they might be arrested while in office and it is going to affect government and all that. So that conversation or that narrative might come back, even though in a different form. And of course, the biggest beneficiary will be Musalia Mudavadi. If William Ruto feels that this case is suffocating his presidency and is already denting his presidency, he might actually pass the baton to Musalia Mudavadi. Guys, think about it. And lastly, is this case going to put government on spot? That did government plan to fix William Ruto? Did government motivate Paul Gicheru to go and present himself so that the case can be revived? And I want to relinquish President Uhuru Kenyatta from this, because he has mentioned himself and he has said that we don't want to go back there. And I agree. We don't want to go back there. There are people to date, they're still in scratches. There are people in bed. They are orphans. They are widows because of ICC. Personally, in my village, I know 4 widows that were rendered widows because of the 2007 general election. And no one wants to hear about it. But again, is there some behind-the-scene games for political capital? Those are the fundamental questions that everyone else is asking himself. And guys, what do you think about this case? We are trying to follow, and of course, we will follow procedure bit by bit. But what are some of the damages that this case can bring? If you ask me, I think the clamor for change. But then behind the scene, could there be that Paul Gicheru presented himself? Think about it. Did he present himself to fix William Ruto or to revive the case maliciously? And lastly, is there a link between William Ruto's visit in Dubai and Uhuru Kenyatta's also visit in Dubai? Because Uhuru Kenyatta went to Dubai yesterday at the onset of these cases. And if they are related, then I think the president might actually protect his deputy. Are there links? Guys, I'm down there. Let's come back and talk about William Ruto's running mate.